Hello, math fans. This is a clue about the exciting math lesson today. This is not a clue. This is just Easter bunnies at Easter time along the path to the exciting math lesson that we are going to have. They actually have something to do with a different math lesson. Take a look over here, and this has everything to do with our fun lesson today. Hello everyone, here we are for a nice lesson on the beach on sinusoidal functions. So sinusoidal functions are wavelength. They can take the form of a sine graph or a cosine graph, and it will have a shape that is periodic, meaning it repeats itself over a certain period or length of time. Let's put some more information onto this fun graph. First, let's look at, here's the tides that we're going to talk about. So this is on Cannon Beach, and this is low tide. In fact, almost the lowest tide of the day, and a little below sea level actually today. So beautiful, and so is what we're going to learn. Okay, the general equation we will use is y equals a cos b, bracket x minus c, and a bracket plus d. Okay, let's take a look at our graph. A is the amplitude. Amplitude is the distance off the middle line, or the median line that you can see running through the sinusoidal function. So the amplitude is always positive, as it is a distance. If you have a negative in front of the A in the equation, it just means your graph is upside down. Then B. B we'll use in a bit. B goes with the period, and we'll talk about the period in a second. C is called the phase shift. They all get an exciting new name. So C is the time at first max, or distance. So in this graph of the tidal waves, you can see that our first max occurred at just after midnight. So we'll say that C is equal to 1/2. D is the displacement, meaning how far up or down the sine graph has gone from the x-axis. It's the median, also called the vertical displacement. Okay, the period is the distance measured from a certain point to that exact same point, occurring again on the next cycle of the graph. So here we see the distance in between the two maximum points. And our first max occurred at 12:30 in the morning, and then we expect the second max will occur at about 12:30 p.m. this afternoon, and that's actually scheduled for 12:34. Low tide then occurs at 7:30 a.m. today-ish, and then again here when I'm videoing at 7:30 p.m. And you'll see, look at that, the sun almost gonna set. We have to be quick. Okay, look at how exciting this is. We now have some data on here from today. So high tide was about 6.1 feet. And that happened at just after midnight, and then again after lunch. Low tide was just about 0.1 feet, and that was about 7:30 in the morning. That's when you could get all the way around Pride Rock. And then here we have it happening again at 7:30 p.m. So here we go, making our exciting equation. We'll start with A. So A equals max minus min over 2, and this is not on your formula sheet, so you should memorize this, equals 6.1 take away 0.1 over 2 equals 3. The formula for displacement is very similar, so I always calculate it next, even though it's not in alphabetical order, and it is d equals max plus min over 2. So 6.1 plus 0.01 over 2 equals 3.1. Now here's the trick. These are not on your formula sheet, so you have to keep them clear in your mind. Think of this. You would not like to have a D plus on your math grade. You would rather have dun, 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 an A minus. So just keep that in mind. B we looked at, so 2 pi over period, and that's because a sinusoidal function, the sine graph and the cos graph, repeats every 2 pi in radians. So here we go. 2 pi over 12, we have basically a period of 12 for a tidal function, and that will reduce to pi over 6. And C we already calculated was equal to 1/2, or you could write it in decimal form, 0.5. Okay, and now here we go for the big reveal. There's our function graphically, and look at this. Dun, da, da, da. Y equals 3 cos pi over 6 bracket x minus half plus 3.1. That's correct. You saw it right here on the Oregon coast. And I know you are just as excited as I am. Isn't that gorgeous? And here's a super interesting little thing. If we zoom in, right here is a tiny little island. And on that island is a lighthouse, which doesn't function anymore. But it is functioning as a crematorium. That's right. People's ashes are currently there. And apparently they're going to sell it and build a restaurant, which could be quite interesting.